Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about wheat characteristics under the unit Biology of Wheat. Characteristics of wheat. Wheat, as we know, is defined as plant out of place or plants growing where they are not wanted. Similarly, Merriam-Webster defines characteristics as a distinguishing trait, quality or property. Therefore, we can define the characteristics of a weed as unique features of weed species that allows them to survive and/or flourish under various conditions, both external and internal. Now let's look at some of these characteristics which makes weeds successful in our crop fields. Please note that all of these attributes may not be present in a single species at all times. 1. Weeds have rapid seedling growth and the ability to reproduce when young. For example, redwood pigweed can flower and produce seed when less than 8 inches tall, as shown in the pictures. 2. Quick maturation or have short vegetative stage. For example, Canada thistle can produce matured seeds in 2 weeks after flowering. Similarly, lamb's quarter is a fast emerging summer annual weed species. 3. Weeds have dual modes of reproduction. That is, most weeds are angiosperms and reproduce by seed, as in the case of many annuals, for example, Biden pilosa. At the same time, many of the weed species also reproduce vegetatively, for example, in the case of morning glory and thistle. 4. High environmental plasticity, meaning many weeds are capable of tolerating and growing under a wide range of climatic and edaphic conditions. 5. Weeds are often self-compatible, but self-pollination is not obligatory. Although the weeds do have the capability to self-fertilize, they do not necessarily have to reproduce through self-pollination, as they can often be cross-pollinated by other agents. For example, Biden pilosa is self-compatible weed plant, but it can be cross-fertilized. 6. If a weed is cross-pollinated, pollination is accomplished by non-specialized flower visitors or by weed. Non-specialized flower visitors are generalist pollinators, that is, those who visit several plant species. In contrast, specialist pollinators are more selective and visit flowers of one or very few plant species. These two images are also an example of cross-pollination accomplished by non-specialized flower visitors. 7. Weeds resist detrimental environmental factors. Most crop seeds rot if they do not germinate shortly after planting. However, weed seeds resist decay for long periods in soil and remain dormant. For example, Chenopodium album has different seed morphs, and these allow the seed to have varying dormancy length and germination requirements such as temperature, relative humidity, and soil moisture. 8. Weeds often produce seed that is the same size and shape as crop seed, making physical separation difficult and facilitating spread by man. For example, quinoa and Chenopodium album have similar flowers and seeds as shown in these two figures. 9. Weed seeds exhibit several kinds of dormancy or dispersal in time to escape the rigors of the environment and germinate when conditions are most favorable for survival. Many weeds have no special environmental requirements for germination, as described in the previous slide. 10. Many weeds have specially adapted long and short-range seed dispersal mechanisms. Example, short-range seed dispersal through irrigation water, long-distance seed dispersal through wind, seed dispersal by animals through ingestions or on their bodies, or by humans on their clothes, shoelaces, socks, etc. We will learn more on the weed seed dispersal mechanisms in the future presentations. 11. Some annual weeds produce more than one seed per year as long as growing conditions permit. Let's look at some more examples of weeds and their seed producing ability. The average musk thistle plant produces in excess of 10,000 seeds per plant and under favorable conditions may produce 120,000 seeds per plant. Similarly, wild marigold seed production can be about 29,000 per plant. These are some more examples of weeds with huge seed output. 12. Roots of some weeds are able to penetrate deep into the soil. While most roots are in the top foot of soil, Canada thistle roots routinely penetrate 3 to 6 feet, and field bindweed roots have been recorded over 10 feet deep, as stated by Merrill A. Ross, a retired member of Purdue University, and the image used here is by him as well, published on Purdue University University website. The image shows the 2 years underground growth of Canada thistle from original 1 foot of root. Similarly, Murfield in 2014 has illustrated the same in Californian thistle, spreading root and a vertical stem in image A, and a 4-month-old plant originating from seed that has already produced the first horizontal spreading root along with a vertical shoot in image B. 13. Roots and other vegetative organs of perennials are vigorous with large food reserves, enabling them to withstand environmental stress and intensive cultivation. Furthermore, perennials have brittleness in lower stem nodes or in rhizomes and roots, and if severed, vegetative organs will quickly regenerate a whole plant as in the case of thistle. Chopping off creeping roots leads to new plants as exhibited in the figure A, and each root sprouts into a new shoot with creeping roots. The patch thickens and spreads across a field as pieces are moved with tillage as in figure B. Both pictures are from Oregon State University. 14. Many weeds have adaptations that repel grazing such as pines, taste, or odor, as in the case of Artemisia, cactus, and Solanum species. 15. Weeds have great competitive ability for nutrients, light, and water and can compete by special means. Example, forming vegetative rosette, climbing, or through allelopathy, as shown here in the pictures of sow thistle and field pineweed. 16. Weeds are ubiquitous. They exist everywhere that we practice agriculture. 17. Weeds resist control, for example, cultural practices such as manual weeding and tillage, including resistance to herbicides. 18. Mechanical and chemical barriers to herbivorous predators during vegetative growth. For example, thistle leaves have sharp spine at the margin or teeth end, and Jimson weed are highly toxic. These are the sources of information for the presentation.